Chosen one. Before you scroll away, before you continue with your day, stop for a moment and listen, because this message may be exactly what you need to hear today. There was a season in your life when everything seemed to fall apart at the same time. The people you trusted changed. The opportunities you were waiting for disappeared. The plans you had made didn't work out. And the future you imagined suddenly looked completely different. You tried to stay strong. You smiled in front of people. You told everyone that you were okay. But deep inside, you were tired. There were nights when you couldn't explain what you were feeling. You simply stared at the ceiling and wondered, God, when is my life going to change? You prayed, you waited, you hoped, and still, nothing seemed to happen. At some point, you started wondering if God had forgotten you. Maybe you thought your prayers weren't being heard. Maybe you looked at other people's lives and wondered why everything seemed to work for them while you were still struggling with the same problems. You watched people move forward while you felt stuck in the same place. You saw people achieving their dreams while you were still trying to figure out your next step. And slowly, doubt began to enter your mind. But chosen one, you were never forgotten. You were being prepared. There is a difference between being delayed and being denied. You thought nothing was happening because you couldn't see anything happening. But God was working behind the scenes. While you were crying, He was preparing. While you were waiting, He was arranging things. While you were being rejected, He was redirecting you. While one door was closing, another door was being prepared. You just couldn't see it yet. Sometimes God hides the process because He wants you to learn how to trust Him without needing to see the outcome. And that is exactly what this season has been teaching you. Faith, patience, strength, discipline, and trust. Chosen one. There are things you prayed for years ago that you don't even want anymore. Think about that. There was a time when you desperately wanted certain people to stay. Now you understand why they had to leave. There was a time when you wanted a certain opportunity. Now you realize it wasn't the right path. There was a time when you thought a particular relationship was your future. Now you understand that God was protecting your future by removing it. You didn't understand it then, but you are beginning to understand it now. And one day, you will look back at this entire season and realize that the delays were necessary. The heartbreak was necessary. The waiting was necessary. The loneliness was necessary. Not because God wanted you to suffer, but because He was building something inside you that comfort could never build. You wanted the blessing. God wanted to prepare you for the responsibility that comes with the blessing. You wanted success. God wanted to build your character first. You wanted a new life. God wanted to change your mindset first. You wanted the door to open. God wanted to make sure you were ready to walk through it. Chosen one. People may have looked at your life and thought you were finished. They may have underestimated you. They may have laughed at your dreams. They may have told you that you couldn't do it. Some may have walked away because they didn't believe you would become anything. Some may have judged you by your current situation. They saw your struggle, but they didn't see your potential. They saw your present, but God saw your future. They saw the person who was struggling. God saw the person who would overcome. They saw someone who was falling behind. God saw someone who was being positioned. They saw weakness. God saw strength being developed. Never allow someone's opinion of your current season to become your belief about your entire life. You are not your current circumstances. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not the rejection you experienced. You are not the money you don't have yet. You are not the opportunities you missed. You are not the people who walked away. Your story is still being written, and the chapter you are currently living through is not the final chapter. Chosen one. There is going to be a moment when everything begins to change, not necessarily all at once, but slowly. One opportunity, one connection, one idea, one decision, one door, and suddenly, you will realize that the waiting season was leading somewhere. You will start noticing that the things you once prayed about are beginning to appear in your life. You will meet people who genuinely support you. You will find opportunities that match your abilities. You will become more confident. You will become more disciplined. And most importantly, you will become comfortable with who you are. You won't need.
You won't need to chase validation. You won't need everyone to understand you. You will simply know who you are and where you are going. And that confidence will come from everything you survived. Because pain teaches lessons that comfort cannot teach. The nights you spent alone taught you independence. The betrayals taught you discernment. The failures taught you resilience. The waiting taught you patience. The rejection taught you self-worth. And the silence taught you how to listen. Chosen one. Don't curse the season that made you stronger. Don't hate the version of yourself that struggled. That version of you did the best it could with what it knew. Instead, thank yourself for continuing. Thank yourself for getting up. Thank yourself for trying again. Thank yourself for not giving up on your life. Because there were moments when you could have stopped. There were moments when you could have walked away from your dreams. There were moments when you could have decided that nothing would ever change. But you didn't. You kept going. Even when you were tired. Even when you were disappointed. Even when nobody noticed. You kept moving. And that matters. God sees the effort nobody else sees. He sees the prayers you never told anyone about. He sees the tears you wiped away before entering a room. He sees the moments when you wanted to give up but chose to continue. Nothing is wasted. Not one prayer, not one lesson, not one difficult season, not one moment of growth. Chosen one. Your breakthrough may not look like what you imagined. Maybe you are expecting one huge miracle. But perhaps your miracle will arrive through a series of small changes, a new opportunity, a new mindset, a new connection, a new skill, a new direction, a new version of you. And eventually, all those small pieces will create the life you once thought was impossible. So don't overlook small beginnings. Don't underestimate one good decision. Don't think your life has to transform overnight. Sometimes the biggest transformation begins quietly. Nobody notices. Nobody applauds. But you know. You know you're changing. You know you're becoming stronger. You know you're thinking differently. You know you no longer accept the things you once tolerated. That's growth. And growth is often silent before it becomes visible. Chosen one. There will come a day when people who doubted you will see the result of everything you built in silence. They will wonder how you did it. They will wonder when you changed. They will wonder why you don't need their approval anymore. But you won't have to explain. Your life will explain it for you. You won't need to tell them you survived. They will see the strength in you. You won't need to tell them you changed. They will notice. You won't need to tell them God was with you. Your life will become the evidence. So stop trying to convince people who don't believe in you. Stop wasting energy explaining your dreams to people who are committed to misunderstanding them. Protect your vision. Protect your peace. Protect your time. And keep building. Because not everyone deserves to know what God is doing in your life before it is complete. Sometimes you have to build quietly. Pray quietly. Work quietly. Grow quietly. And let the results speak when the time is right. Chosen one. Maybe this season feels like the end. But what if it is actually the beginning? What if the version of you that is struggling today is being prepared for a version of life you haven't experienced yet? What if God is removing everything that cannot come with you? What if the loneliness is creating space for the right people? What if the rejection is creating space for the right opportunity? What if the delay is protecting you from receiving something before you are ready? Think about it. A blessing received too early can become a burden. A door opened before you are prepared can become overwhelming. A relationship entered before you are healed can create another wound. Sometimes waiting is not punishment. Sometimes waiting is protection. So wait with faith. Work while you wait. Grow while you wait. Learn while you wait. Pray while you wait. Because your waiting season should not be a wasted season. Use it. Become stronger. Become wiser. Become better. And when the door finally opens, walk through it without looking back. Chosen one. You have already survived too much to quit now. You have already come too far. There are still dreams inside you. There are still things you want to accomplish. There are still places you want to see. There are still people you want to make proud. There is still a future waiting for you. So don't let today's pain make you give up on tomorrow's possibilities. Tomorrow can be different. Next month can be different. Next year can be completely different. Your life can change in ways you cannot.